Come for my tourism Pathshala. It will transform your dream into reality. Good evening, my dear student. As a student of tourism studies, we are going to understand the importance of the relationship between tourism and geography. Today's class is based on the importance of tourism and geography, number one. Number two, two important division of Earth's surface. Number one, ocean. Number two, continent. The 71% of ocean all over the world and 29% of the continent. Number three, we'll learn and understand the important features of 7 continents. Number one, Asia. Number two, Europe. Number three, Africa. Number four, North America. Number five, South America. Number six, Australia. Number seven, Antarctica. And we have to learn the important Antarctica and Antarctic Treaty. So another part, we'll learn and understand the 5 important oceans: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Southern Ocean or Antarctic Ocean, and finally Arctic Ocean. So these are the important topic of this class, and step by step we'll understand each and every area of this topic. Now, first of all, we have to understand the relationship between tourism and geography. So, geography is not only the framework of time and spatial base. Spatial is a space base on which tourism operates, but also has abundant source of input for several tourism products. There is a huge scope and opportunity in as a tourism to promote as a tourism product, maybe a hill station based, natural, cultural, environmental, social, which are exploited most of the time, which are exploited by tourism industry. Cultural and regional geography also provide the travel agent with the knowledge about the history, language, tradition, socio-economic and political characteristics of the destination. These all are the important attraction of our tourism industry. Geography has a symbiotic and existential relationship with tourism, since former is a spatial process and all the tourism activity occurs within the geographical limit. Now, we are going to understand and going to learn the major division of Earth's surface, which is a great and huge tourism potential. The large landmass. There are two main divisions of surface. The large landmasses are known as the continent, and huge water bodies are called the ocean basin. And there is a very interesting 71% of the earth is composed of water, means ocean, and 29% is land. Now we are going to understand step by step the 7 continents all over the world. The Earth's land is divided into 7 major land masses known as a continent. The 7 continents, number 1 out of 7 continents, number 1 is Asia. Asia is a 30% of Earth land. Asia is the world's largest continent, number 1. Number 2, Russia is the largest country of this continent. Number 3, both China and India, world 2 most populous countries, are in Asia. Number 4, this continent lies in Eastern Hemisphere, and tropic of Cancer passes through this continent. Next important information, this continent lies in Eastern Hemisphere and Tropic of Cancer passes through this country. So Asia is separated. Next important point, Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountain and Caspian Sea on the west. And highest point of this continent, that is called the Mount Everest. These are the important information we have to keep in our mind. Next important topic, next important continent is the Europe. 71% of Earthland. Europe lies in the west of Asia. The combined landmass of Europe and Asia is often referred to as Eurasia. Europe plus Asia is called Eurasia. The Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle passes through Europe, and the highest mountain of this continent is Mount Elbrus. Europe is surrounded by water on the three sides. Number one, Mediterranean Sea in the southern portion, Atlantic Ocean in the western part, and Arctic Ocean in the northern part. And world's smallest country, Vatican City, is in Europe. And Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Denmark, this northern part of Europe together form Scandinavian country. The Great Britain and Ireland form two main island group of Europe. The Volga is the longest river in the Europe and second longest river. Volga is the longest river in Europe and second longest river of the Europe. Danube passes through the 5 capital cities of the continents. So what are the important information regarding the Europe is surrounded by three water sites. There is a Norway, Sweden, Iceland, and Denmark is considered a Scandinavian country. Next, Mount Elbrus is the highest mountain. The smallest country of this in Europe continent is the Vatican City, and Volga is the longest river in Europe. Now we move on to the next important continent, that is called Africa. The 20.4% Earth's land. Africa is the second longest continent after Asia and is the largest part lies in the northern hemisphere. Africa is considered as a dark continent. The equator 0-degree latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent and receiving the direct sunlight throughout the year. And that's why world's hottest place, Ethiopia, is also here, and so is Sahara Desert, world's largest desert. World's largest river, the Nile, flow through Africa. So what are the important information we have got? And more than 50% of the world's gold and 95% of world's diamond you will get from Africa. So two important information about Africa. Is the second largest continent, lies in the northern hemisphere, is considered as a dark continent. Equator and latitude run through this African continent, middle of the continent, so receiving direct sunlight. And Ethiopia is the world hottest place, and Sahara Desert you will get here, and world largest river Nile flow in this continent. Now we move on. The next continent is the North America. The North America is the third largest continent of the world. The continent lies completely northern and western hemisphere. Is surrounded by the ocean, Arctic to the north, Atlantic Ocean to the east, and Pacific Ocean to the west. And world largest economy, the US is a part of the North America. Largest freshwater lake you will get here, Lake Superior, and world third largest river, Mississippi, are located in this continent. So important information, North America lies in the western hemisphere, surrounded by three seas, Arctic in north, Atlantic in east, and Pacific in west. This mind map is very crucial to solve the MCQ and previous year's question paper. And largest earth water lake, Lake Superior, you will get here. Now the Central America. Central America is often referred to as the own region. Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama are the countries of the Central America. And Central America contain rugged mountain and diverse amount of vegetation, and is located near two oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. Now we move on the next continent is the South America. 12% of the Earth's land, South America lies mostly southern hemisphere. World largest mountain range run through its length from north to south. South America has world largest river as per water volume and second longest river, Amazon. And this continent is also known as Latin America. What are the important information of South America? South is located in the southern hemisphere. Second longest river you can see here, Amazon. World highest waterfall, Angel Falls you will get here. And the continent house of world highest waterfall, Angel Falls, and highest volcanoes of the world, Mount Cotopaxi and Mount Chimborazo are also found on this continent. Now we move on the next continent, that is of Australia. 5.2% of the Earth land. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere and it is surrounded on all sides by the ocean and seas. Hence is also called the island continent. There are more than 10,000 islands scattered throughout the Pacific Ocean are collectively termed as the Oceania. That's why Australia under the section of Oceania group. It is divided in four parts: Australasia, Australia plus New Zealand, Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. So another important information regarding Australia is the smallest continent, lies in the southern hemisphere. Next is under the Oceania group. This group has divided in four parts: Australasia, Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. And 2/3 of Australia is desert land. World largest coral reef, the Great Barrier Reef, which is around 2,000 kilometers long, is found here. Now we move on to our next continent. Next continent is the Antarctica. Antarctica is completely in the southern hemisphere. Is also known as white or frozen continent. It's a very interesting information. The southern hemisphere lies in southern hemisphere, and it is considered as a frozen continent. And many countries have research station in Antarctica. India also has a research station there, and its name is Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. This is a very important information. India has own research center in Antarctica. Name of this research center is Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. An Antarctica continent at the South Pole is a land of science that is internationally managed by Antarctica Treaty. Now we have to understand what do you mean by Antarctica Treaty. The treaty was signed in Washington in December 1959 by 12 countries, and treaty came in force 1961. What are the major principles of this Antarctica Treaty? Number one, peaceful use. Number two, freedom of scientific investigation. Number three, cooperation. And what are the major objectives of this Antarctica Treaty? That is the demilitarize Antarctica. Number one, very important point under this circumstance, demilitarization of Antarctica. Number two, establish a nuclear free zone. Number three, promote scientific cooperation. Now we move on the important ocean. Okay, oceans are the major part of the hydrosphere. Ocean water are always moving as all the oceans are interconnected. The three chief movement of ocean waters are wave, tide, and ocean current. There are 5 oceans all over the world. Number one, Pacific Ocean. So Pacific Ocean, the 46% of the Earth water area, is the largest ocean. Pacific Ocean is almost circular in shape and surrounded by Asia, Australia, North and South America. This information is this geographical information is very important for UGC NET and JRF student. You will get the different geographical question from this section, and they can also provide the comprehension which is related this geographical knowledge. Next important area, Atlantic Ocean, the second largest ocean in the world, and the coastline of Atlantic Ocean is highly indented. This irregular indented coastline provide ideal location for natural harbors and ports. Next, Indian Ocean, 20.3% of our water area, is the only ocean named after a country, that is India. We have to be proud. The shape of ocean is almost triangular. In the north, it is bounded by Asia. In the west, it is bounded by Africa, and in the east by Australia. So Indian Ocean, one of the important trade route area. And next, Southern Ocean. It is also referred to as an Antarctic Ocean. Antarctic Ocean and South Polar Ocean or Austral Ocean. So it is very important of our water surface. Now, next one is the Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean is the other polar ocean located in the Arctic circle and surrounded in the North Pole. It is connected with the Pacific Ocean by narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait, and it is bounded by northern coast of North America, Eurasian countries, which is neighboring countries exercising their sovereignty over it. So my dear student, this is very informative topic of geography, earth geography, physical geography, and oceans and continent all over the world, and it is very important of our NET, JRF and geography student. So keep touch with this channel, follow this channel. Day after day I try to provide you chapter wise analysis and explanation, which is very important for our upcoming exam. Thank you.